Trust me. Yeah, trust me, my man.
Okay.
So this week, TNA is hard to kill. TNA is in the rumor mill right now about a potential partnership, believe it or not, with World Wrestling Entertainment, as Triple H is now also hyping up a special announcement on Thursday live on Peacock. What is the latest about this TNA and WWE partnership, and what are fans talking about on social media? We'll get into that today on Off the Script. Also, Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, may be on her way back to WWE, possibly within the Royal Rumble, and we got all that and so much more right here on Off the Script, including a Velveteen Dream announcement where he finally decided to apologize. And a lot of people are willing to give him a second chance. We're going to get into this TNA news, man. Let's start off here first. This is the big one. As of today, an interesting change to an aspect of TNA Wrestling's presentation has fueled speculation about an upcoming WWE announcement. Now, it's wild to think that 2024 is already off to a rocking start, and TNA is changing their brand from Impact to TNA. I was very critical of them just changing the name with all that hype around it. You need to give me more than just a name change or something different. Otherwise, it's going to resemble what you were doing in 2023, and you need to stand above what you did in 23. How are you going to change, and what is going to be different about the company this year as opposed to last year? Now, we already got this announcement on Thursday that Triple H has a special announcement. It's going to air on Peacock, and an announcement some fans now are saying will involve TNA in some aspect. Triple H will be a part of a WWE preview special airing at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, during which he teased a huge announcement. Now, I thought that this could potentially be the TV rights deal for Monday Night Raw, because it's rumored that Raw will be going to Warner Brothers Discovery. Evidence that the announcement will involve Impact Wrestling, soon to be TNA, started stacking up on the rumor mill in the IWC Tuesday evening. And for TNA Plus, a streaming service featuring the promotion's back catalog and live pay-per-views, revealed those pay-per-views will now be called Premium Live Events. Who else calls their pay-per-views Premium Live Events? WWE. Not only is this the term Premium Live Event WWE coined for its pay-per-views after moving them to the WWE Network, but the service is set to launch on January 5th, the day after Triple H makes his big announcement. If that alone isn't enough to convince you of what's going on here, or at least something is up, we then got the rumors of Trinity Fatu, formerly WWE's Naomi, now working with Impact, will soon return to WWE. Trinity is at front and center on the TNA Plus marketing, and a lot of people are pointing out that even though the rumor is that she will be leaving Impact for WWE, that she will still be a part of Impact, and she may be part of a working agreement to work both promotions. Now, I know WWE had a possible working relationship not too long ago when they made a deal to get Mickie James into the Royal Rumble as Impact Women's Champion. Now, I don't know if that's going to be similar to what's going on here, or if Trinity's just going to get up, leave Impact, and join WWE full time. But there is some sort of partnership, and she is up front and center on the marketing. If TNA didn't want her part of the marketing, or if they're rebranding and didn't want her to be there, then she wouldn't be there. I think for a brand new relaunch, everything needs to be lined up and your eggs need to be in their appropriate baskets. That's a big glaring issue if she's not going to be a part of the TNA Plus announcement or the Hard to Kill announcement. Now, The previous show with Triple H will be making the debut or the airing is going to
Lovely is
happen
the
on Thursday.
orange lantern of
At the
avarice
same
is
time
still gorging
as
on this
the
frivolous
TNA
holiday
show
cheer.
on
Get out
Thursday
there
on
and starve
Texas.
that wretched beast.
January 13th. A situation where worlds collide. Endeavor is the distributor for TNA Plus. And all of these things, if you take into consideration, there's something brewing that we don't really know of at this point in time, and I guess all will be revealed on Thursday night on Peacock with Triple H making his big announcement. Now, people are excited about this. I know people are getting hyped about this. This is a big deal. You know, where AEW has partnerships with a lot of different promotions, WWE usually doesn't play well with others, and they never allow anybody into their sandbox. Well, at least Vince McMahon did. Triple H has always wanted to open WWE's doors for other promotions to work with them. Now, my first instinct here is to tell you, what does WWE gain out of this? They gain nothing. Why would they want to partner with Impact when they have nothing to benefit from with this partnership? Impact, TNA, has everything to benefit from. It will benefit them greatly. Why does WWE want to partner with Impact? Is WWE going to partner with Impact as a way to get main roster stars over on Impact Television? Scott D'Amore's already announced that the biggest free agent signing in company history will be unveiled during the Hard to Kill weekend. The only person that would really fit that bill right now that's a free agent is Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. And I don't think she's going over there. Or maybe she is. I have no fucking idea what the woman is doing. But she could realistically land there just as much as she could realistically land with AEW. She could realistically show up in the Royal Rumble and all of us will be taken for fools with the reports that went out this week. But who else could the biggest free agent signing in company history be? Maybe it's just a partnership with WWE, and there will be a partnership with somebody who's contracted to WWE, also working Impact Wrestling. Again, I don't see how this benefits WWE in any way, shape, or form. Maybe Worlds Collide means maybe we get WWE and Impact partnering with NXT. I have no clue. That would be a little bit more realistic. NXT would absolutely gain something from using Impact, and Impact would gain something using NXT. Again, I don't really know if that is what they're going for here, as I'm just spitballing. Endeavor, I didn't even know they had a streaming or distribution of a streaming service. The fact that WWE was bought out by Endeavor, Endeavor has a streaming service which is distributing TNA Plus, and now you're changing your shit over to premium live events. That's all you need to tell me that something's brewing there. Exactly what's going on. Only WWE has that type of mentality and marketing to go out and change
This
something
is
such
Vale
as
and
that.
JLA
That's
Watch
all you need
on
to
the
know.
superhero
Well, that's a
team, the
WWE.
Titans.
What do
More
they
than a
go
group,
on?
their bond is like
Rumors about a
family.
major signing,
The technical
about
powers
the
of Cyborg and the
or
street smarts of
innuendos.
Nightwing
You look
form
at
a
something
perfect
like that,
complement to
where it's a
Raven's magic,
WWE point phrase
Starfire's
and
alien
WWE
skills,
branding.
and Beast Boy's shapeshifting
Blind
powers.
branding. That's all you need to know that something's going. Again, I don't know. I wish I could tell you more. The Impact fans are very excited about this, and I'm glad that you guys finally have something to be excited about.
20th century
But like I
technology
said,
is so
the important thing
adorable.
is if you're switching your name over to TNA, coming out of Impact, and doing anything to really give us something new and fresh. They have a great roster. How is the show going to operate any different? Is the show going
I'm
to
the
look
next step
different?
in
Is the show
robotic
going
head
to feel
development.
different?
I do hope Servo
Will it
finds
be
that
a
slot in your
six-sided
bank
ring?
comfortable.
WWE and Impact or TNA could be the one major change to take them from here to the next level. They need something to give us a brand new change and a different look and a different feel from what they were doing in 2023. This could be it. And like I said before, before, Triple H has always wanted to open the doors for other promotions to work with WWE where Vince didn't want to do it. Triple H was always open to that, and it was something he firmly wanted to do as he was assembling working Black and Gold to take over the company on the main roster. Now he's doing it, and now we're getting news of WWE working with All Japan. Now the rumor is WWE working with Impact. If this is any indication to you where this mind is going, Triple H's mind is headed, he's got one thing in mind. AEW, he's been watching very closely what AEW's been doing. Their partnerships with New Japan, CMLL, and this one and that one. Triple H is going to want to do the same thing. And if Triple H starts getting ahead and showing that WWE is willing to have relationships with other promotions, I believe firmly that Triple H has it in the back of his mind that he's going to one up Tony Khan and AEW. It's going to be another way for them to steal that thunder from AEW in that aspect.
It brings out humanity's deadly sins.
This is not a sanctioned religious organization by any means. It's always been the goal.
So if you see them,
this may
shut
very
them
well
down.
be a part of that. So it's
Gordon out.
very interesting to see what this announcement is. I'll be watching it live on Thursday, depending on how impactful it is. We'll talk about it on Thursday night. I will be on social media discussing it live with you guys, so follow me there. But this is an exciting piece of information for all you TNA fans out there on Thursday, and then going into Hard to Kill, which is shaping up to be a must-see show for the company. Speaking of Trinity, Fightful Select is reporting that Trinity may be leaving the company. Longtime Knockouts champion is expected to be a free agent soon. She debuted last April 28th and quickly ascended up the card. By July, she was already the Knockouts champion for Impact, which she's held for months. It is expected that Trinity is finishing up with TNA, but Fightful hasn't heard whether or not she will be in the upcoming Hard to Kill show, or at least up until that point, she will not be with the company after that weekend. In January of 23, WWE sources told Fightful that they could get Trinity back in the company. It was an unofficial hiring freeze within WWE. Fightful aren't sure if that was anything back there. I don't think that was the case, as I do think she really wanted to grow her own wings and just go out there and fly and show WWE that she can be a difference maker in what the women's division does on WWE, which she wasn't allowed to do when Vince McMahon was there. In speaking with WWE sources, Fightful says not only did they think there was a good chance she could end up back with the company, many sources claimed that they downright expected it. There were also sources within Impact Wrestling who told Fightful that they expected it to happen sooner rather than later. One WWE source told Fightful on Tuesday that something huge would have to happen for her not to end up back here. But this is a crazy free agent period. I'm not surprised by this. I'm surprised that she wasn't given a longer Impact deal. The fact that she signed with the company debuted last April, and she's already a free agent. I don't know why they didn't go out there and sign her to a multi-year deal of sorts, and now, with probably her being the biggest name in that division, Impact's team is already set to lose their biggest name on top of already losing Deonna Purrazzo and potentially also missing the boat on Mercedes Moné coming into the company. That's a big blow. It is a big blow. Whether you watch Impact or not, that's a big blow because a lot of people look at their women's division as the best in North America. I don't know if she's going to end up in WWE full-time. I don't know if she's a part of the partnership potentially that is brewing here between TNA and WWE, and she will work WWE and TNA. I don't know. But if Impact is set to lose Naomi or Trinity, it is a big blow. WWE getting her now is a huge deal because with them potentially fumbling the bag with Mercedes and not bringing her in and not wanting to pay her, on top of Charlotte being injured and her being out at least until October, November of this year, 9 months with the torn MCL, ACL, and meniscus, Trinity coming on in couldn't happen for Trinity in WWE. They saw what she's done. They didn't appreciate her, I should say the old administration didn't appreciate her. And with WWE losing a major name like Charlotte, that you can't go out there.
It seems that the emotional
replace
spectrum's
Trinity
resident
coming on
Scrooge wasn't
after the work
content with
she's done
stealing
to show
presents.
her or show
This
them
time,
that
Larfleeze
she can
has set
carry
his
the
sights
ball
on the
if they
Sinestro
allow
Corps
her
power
to.
rings. He
That is going
snatched
to be
them
a
up from the
major
fallen
get for
core in
WWE
downtown
because what
Metropolis.
WWE needs
Now
is
he's
more
probably
top
doing the
acts
backstroke in a
in the
vault
women's
filled with
division.
them.
When
Our
right now
pal
it's more of the
Sinestro's
same old,
busy
same
beating
old.
the green out of
Especially
Hal
on
Jordan
Monday Night
and
Raw.
company. So
You
it's
mix
up
that
to you to
with
steal those
WWE
rings
being
back.
interested in Julia, and Julia wanting to come over from Stardom to land in America with WWE, and her saying WWE right now.
It seems that the emotional spectrum's resident Scrooge wasn't content with stealing presents. This time, Larfleeze has set his sights on the Sinestro Corps' power rings. He snatched them up from the fallen core in downtown Metropolis. Now he's probably doing the
It's the
backstroke in
only
a vault
option.
filled with
Triple
them.
H
Our
had something
pal
brewing.
Sinestro's busy beating the green
Revolution
out of Hal
potentially
Jordan
starting in
and company.
WWE for
So
the
it's
women's
up to
division.
you to steal those rings
This would be a
back.
big get for them. And I would be very
I've
pleased to see
pinpointed
Naomi
the
back
excessive ring
on
action
WWE
when
TV
research
in
the
different
there you
aspects
are.
and with a different
Larfleeze is holed up behind a security
than
door.
what we saw of her during the
inside.
big man
Shorted out the
administration. I
locking
think it'll be a lot better off for
Bust
her.
open the
And the
lock
reason
and
why
get
she left was
inside.
because of what they did to her in the previous administration. I don't see Triple H wanting to do that.
Use the shielded
So I
constructs
think
to
that
disrupt the
her
energy beams from each
it's going to be a
emitter.
big deal.
That will
Plus,
temporarily
you know,
hold the
obviously,
shield
her husband works on Friday night, and that always is a big aspect of why they end up back home as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. She could very well be part of the deal with TNA if that is the case, or she could just end up in the Royal Rumble. And if WWE fumbled the bed with Mercedes, Bayley, right? That storyline goes Naomi. I think that would be a great get for them. And somebody that we haven't heard a lot from or of is the Velveteen Dream. Soon as the new year rung in, Velveteen Dream was on social media and he issued an apology to WWE, the WWE fans, friends, and family about his past mistakes. Patrick Clark, known as the Velveteen Dream, probably one of the favorite winning stories in WWE, has owned up to his past mistakes. He was accused of having inappropriate contact with minors in 2020. He had originally put out a statement noting that he was working with authorities to resolve the situation, leading to him being used only a few times on NXT TV. His last match was against Cole in December 2020. He also had to stay cheat with several people in NXT due to his behavior before he was released in 2021. He was then later arrested on August 26, 2022, after his previous arrest on August 20th for misdemeanor battery and trespassing charges. As of the August 26th arrest was due to an county warrant related to the possession of drug paraphernalia. Britt was also accused of filming fellow wrestlers in the bathroom without their consent, in addition to his arrest and accusations of being reckless in matches, wellness violations, and other behavioral issues. Dream issued an apology video on Instagram where he asked Triple H, Shawn Michaels, fans, and the company to forgive him for his past issues. This is some of what he said, and I quote, "As you've probably seen or heard over the course of the last few years, I want to apologize for my behavior both professionally and personally. I always preach to those closest to me about the power of accountability and responsibility."
Fuck.
I'll take all the lantern power rings. They're all mine.
to the WWE
Sinestro
organization.
Corps
I
can
want
take
to
it from
apologize
Was
to
he
WWE
always
for
that
any
ugly, or
unwanted
did you
attention and
focus
negative press that
fire
I've
on his
brought to your
face?
brand and to your product.
Yuck.
I want to apologize to the WWE fans and the Velveteen Dream fans, because when you hear the name Velveteen Dream, it should not have only been in this light, but should only been spoken about in a productive and positive light. Not the name Patrick Clark as another static or statistic of what happens when talent and opportunity meet immaturity. Okay, that's not what you spend your hard-earned money on. It's not what you invest your time and money in. When you look on the TV and you come to the shows, you should escape reality, not have to deal with mine. I want to apologize to the WWE and the fans. I want to apologize to Paul Levesque. Paul, you are such an understanding and patient man and leader, and getting the opportunity to work with you and learn from you, I get the sense of what makes you who you are and how you've been able to handle the responsibility of being in the public light for such a long time. I want to apologize to you, Paul. I'm sorry. Also, I want to say I'm sorry, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, it's still beyond me that I've been given the opportunity in this lifetime to learn from you and to have your mentorship and guidance. And I apologize if you feel like you've wasted your time and your energy investing into me. You have not. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still learning. And I remember all the lessons that you've taught me. Shawn, I'm sorry. He continued, I want to apologize to my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my nieces, and my nephews. Because you may read things, you may hear things, you may be confronted by people you don't know, and you might feel the need to explain yourselves on my behalf. I just want you to know that you do not have to do that ever. No one should have to explain anything for Patrick Clark. No one should have to trend because of Patrick Clark. No one should have to ask to answer questions. Where is Patrick now? What did Patrick do? What happened to Patrick? That's not your responsibility. And I don't want you to feel with that responsibility. That's mine. Okay? Apologize to you all for any energy, negative energy to come your way because of me. Again, I want to apologize to the fans and those.
Woo! Shit. Jesus. Okay.
Personal life that I've affected about
The
my behavior,
demons
about
are
my behavior.
full of Trigon's
Sorry,
power.
I recognize that I was losing
So
myself,
this is
and I
what they
apologize to
send
everyone
me?
that I've lost along the way.
So you
and
think
that I've
yourself
upset or
ready to
offended because
raise
of
the
my
demon
behavior.
lord
Man,
Trigon, do
I'm
you?
sorry, and I
I
hope
doubt
you
you
all
can
forgive
contain
me.
even a fraction of his evil. His sin demons swarm in these caverns. Defeat them and
On social
absorb
media
their
yesterday.
foul power.
If you guys want to go watch the video,
If
it is
you
on my Twitter
survive,
page.
Then perhaps
I
you
watched it.
are the one.
I listened. I watched intently his tone, his body language, and everything about Patrick Clark.
First, you must overcome the sin of greed.
Velveteen Dream.
wield the
He
spirit
was
of
NXT. He
avarice
was
by
a huge
stealing the
part
very essence of
of
their
what
selfishness.
made Black and Gold. He was one of the biggest up-and-coming stars that I've seen in a very long time in the promotion. He had charisma, attitude. He was very good in the ring, and he was still maturing, and he still had a lot to learn, and he was that good when we watched him all those years ago. Sit here and for the rest of his life, bless the man for the mistakes that he made, because we all make mistakes, and we continue to make mistakes, and we will continue to make mistakes. We are not the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Social media is not the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Does he deserve a second chance? I'm not really here to tell you that he does or if he doesn't. Is WWE going to give him a second chance? I don't know. But what I heard and from what I saw in this Instagram clip, this is a man who felt sincere, sounded honest, sounded genuine, and everybody deserves a second chance. You know, I know he's still relatively young, and it's been 2-3 years. A lot can happen in 2-3 years. A person can change his color somewhat in 2 and 3 years. Is he a changed man forever? I don't know. People tend to mess up time and time again, and they fall back on their bad habits.
To serve
We've done it. I've been
Trigon,
there.
you must
You've been there.
gorge upon his evil.
Everybody
Become one
learns
with
at their own
greed and
pace.
swell
Everybody
your
grieves
insatiable
at their own
appetite
pace.
for
You can't
power.
put a time limit or a time cap on when people go through those things. They all go through it their own way. But from what I saw, if WWE wanted to give him a second chance, which by the way, I mean, he was acquitted of all charges. They found him guilty on it. It's social media that's going to hold him and his feet to the fire every single time you hear Velveteen Dream, every time you hear the name Patrick Clark. If WWE's willing to give him a second chance, then I think we the fans should be willing to give him a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance. I guarantee you listening to me done something fucked up when you issued an apology to someone. No, and to give him a second chance. Is there trust to be gained again and worked towards? Sure. Everybody has to go through it. But I think if he wants a second chance, I think WWE should give him a second chance. And from what we saw yesterday, I felt like it was genuine enough to a point where it could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. Brings him back down. Fans will let them have it. I don't think fans are going to allow Patrick Clark to have his moment. I feel like with something that he was kind of mixed in with, then a lot of people are going to look at that and not want to hear his name in pro wrestling ever again, because it is too, if this was 10 years ago, he'd be back on TV by now.
You have
And
not
genuinely,
felt
we don't
hate
really have
until you have faced
a lot
wrath.
to go on here.
Show us
You
the
know,
dark
there were
rage
things that were
inside
said, there
your
were
soul.
things that were showcased on social media we haven't seen or heard from these people since. But Patrick Clark, you know, again, I have to say, just like Enzo, he was acquitted of all the charges and found not guilty. WWE launched their own investigation into it. What else do you need? They want to give him a second chance. I think the fans are willing to give him a second chance as well. And it sounded like a man who was genuine. Again, that's just my personal feeling in watching this video. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, I'd love to see Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream back, working his way towards WWE star. We'll see what happens, man. You never say never in the world of pro wrestling. It's a new year. To see Velveteen Dream back on television if they want to give him a second chance. And what I heard and what you guys heard was genuine apology. But we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for your support. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up down below. Please consider subscribing and make sure you guys go and check out all the other videos. 2 huge streams. Monday, Day 1 Raw, tonight, episode 28 of TNT. Tuesday Night Titans with Andrew Baydell. Great discussion. Go check that out all on the homepage
Since
right
arrival.
now. Guys,
They are
tonight
enough
for AEW
frenzy to
Dynamite.
stand against you. You must
And he
face
explains
them.
why he
Face
turned his
them.
back on MJF. We'll see you guys later tonight for the AEW Dynamite review right here on Off the Script. We'll see you guys then.
I hope you joke.
Oh.
Relinquish my essence! Sin is strong! The darkness will corrupt you! You cannot take my power! It's mine! Mine! The power of sin will destroy you! Your passion and your violence! He will crush you! It devours us all! Your feeble grasp will never hold the power you seek.
Vanquish Raven, the sin of pride.
Feel it corrupt you.
This is your final test. Behold Raven, Trigon's daughter. She has forsaken him to become a hero. No matter how she denies her father, she holds the sin of pride. Defeat her, make her bow that proud head, and you are indeed the one who shall make Trigon rise.
Oh.
This is Franklin Brace. Take it. The truth.
The power you seek comes with a heavy price, villain. I will not be bound. I will stop you.
Right. Because the people want to know why did he get this far? Because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information knowledge, and you'll see this. So if you and a man was in the corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
You cannot understand the evil you do by selling our souls to Trigon.
They say you can't fight lasers, but
That
boy,
much.
have I tried.
Captured
Did you know he's not even really a
shadows
showman?
of our immortal lord.
they all know.
They are the
Why?
key
Because
to
you
bringing
don't
Trigon finally and
the guy
completely
that
to
raises
this
black
plane.
children and ain't never done a hard
You have
drug in his
already
life and
tasted
don't have no
Trigon's
stories of
sins.
doing nobody
Now
dirty.
you will become
And they'll
them
just go out
and
and
raise the power to at last
industry
bring
knows
forth the
what
mighty
cat routine
Trigon.
didn't show you the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that
background
no
on all the
studio
demonic
has
power you just,
money with me on the script.
Trigon spawned all manifest one of
That's
the
why I'm
7
saying, that's why I
deadly
can't
sins.
let Ricky Smiley say
Trigon
he
can
was
draw
supposed to
upon
play
that
Money
energy
Mike.
to
Because
rise,
I wrote the
and
words
then,
for Money Mike.
well,
I designed the
all hell
outfit for
breaks
Money
loose.
Mike. I collaborated with the
So,
wardrobe
a little
department and
background
made
on all the
outfits to
demonic
make
power
sure
you
that
just,
no one in America would be
ate.
wearing what Money Mike
Trigon
was
spawned
wearing.
all manifest one of
Told
the
them
7
to go
deadly
get the
sins.
Prowler. I then
Trigon
told
can
them
draw
to paint
upon that
purple.
energy to rise,
I told them
and
don't
then,
have an actor
well,
playing a pimp.
all
We
hell
could
breaks
get an
loose.
actual pimp,
Go get 'em,
Archbishop Magic Don Juan to
knew
play.
you would
Like
prove worthy.
I did far too
Now,
much work
find
for
the obelisk
somebody
the
to
cult of blood has
come
erected to glory
years
to bestow
later and
yourself
try to
the
tag
full
along
power of
just for
avarice.
their own
The Sentinels
self-aggrandizement.
guarded closely,
Why didn't
but
Q
I
set the record
should.
straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight.
do
Why
collect
none of
the
them
pretty
set the
gems.
record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that he
So
right, he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard. Oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie, and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. And like, this is a business.
What's up the thing, Cat? Normally when people give you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time, and they're giving information no one else knows or has ever heard. So I'm taking it at face value.
These are like, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that. You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. That Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. There being a line for him never getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deal when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
Ooh.
He just did his documentary with Chris Rock, where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast. So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some wild shit.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case.
Greed,
It's a cabal. It's a consortium.
You need to do all the
They
fun
rock
stuff.
with who they rock with, and they do who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team.
Find the
Yeah,
blood
on
cult's
paper,
gluttony
they're a
obelisk
better
to
team.
embody the
They
spirit
have
of
all the
endless
assets and resources that we
Then
don't.
gorge yourself
But
on
let
the
us get on the
souls.
line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't. Because Shannon Sharp got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built. So all of these shortcut takers, they've canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out. But he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do?
That a soul's a
He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Ooh.
Wonder what they do.
I told him, what y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I'm not taking the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Cat Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Cat Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big, and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted
One
to be
day,
movie
there
stars.
will be a Tombot in every household.
What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Why don't try to get
Any of these guys.
The guy, every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out
You
there.
won't get past this cop, evildoer.
So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric does it right. I'm sorry, he does it right. Ricky Smiley's been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you gotta be doing karaoke around the country to make that work. And it is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to choose than to get in the gym. But you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy. No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
So, you had said, but the piece of comedy, it was
I don't think so. Your villainy stops here.
I told you, man. I'll be there.
2018, 2019, but which mean 1999? Because it came out in 2000, so I just want to think the kids.
No. So what I meant to say was, remember, he said I couldn't do stand-up anymore. I had 7 TV shows. I said he didn't have either of those TV shows at the time. Okay.
2019, but it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, no. What comes out in 2000? Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998. That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I Yeah, so I said the date's wrong.
Try to get
Yeah, so
You said
yeah.
had Cedric on here and asked him about joke stealing, and he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
You say
Right, so he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know. The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice. It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET, which you seeing me doing this joke. And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes. But then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up. Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab to help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
okay.
1998. I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
Is there a medal for stopping a real joke?
Already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Cat 30 times. And Cat didn't do as I stand before you. Shame. I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me go.
Can you believe we're this deep into the NFL season? We gotta make every second
Complaints or return requests regarding this unit to feedback at
You got accepted in college at 7 years of age. You can read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, I mean,
You're doing much better than the control room. Forget I said that.
I was often confused things and I wasn't sure how I knew. I knew things that I felt like I
Just how many licks does it take to get to the center of the multiverse?
I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. And knowledge was very powerful people. And I really believe it. I immediately, my next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set. You think you're one of the smartest people in the world, only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything. You know, so it was a confusing time. But yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 5,000-10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on, you know what I mean? So it came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them, also benefited you. Yes, when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer but that's not what I wanted to do.
So your parents weren't as supportive as you would have hoped because you were wanting to be things when you got older that they had no knowledge of or it didn't exist at the time.
You know,
Dispatch, this is
that,
Unit 13.
it was,
Got nothing on this maniac. Over.
I'm saying I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340 or sub. I can do a 4.16 if I
Oh, it's showing John across the street. We can order a sub.
But
But we've been on the submarine. That what you sub?
Is there a medal
So
for
back
stopping
then
you?
it was even greater. So you got this guy that all the coaches want to play.
Man, Jeff, don't do that.
Hold on, because I'm 5'5" in the 5th grade. I've been this high my whole life. Like there was a portion of school where I was like it just, as soon as everybody caught their growth spurt, I was out of it. But I'm saying I was a competitive individual. My father was an athlete. Like I've been 145 pounds my whole career. That's why I never bothered when they said, your cat's on drugs. I knew, how you gonna prove that? My body is a temple.
I've been the same size since I was 10.
Like, what do you, like, I haven't changed off this pivot foot. This has always been who I was before stand-up or anything. But it was an interesting childhood. I appreciate my parents, even though I couldn't live within the religious frameworks that they had set up. But that was more not wanting to live a double life and not want to embarrass my family. You know what I mean?
Because I read where a form of punishment for you is that they would take books because you mentioned you were such a voracious reader. And a form of punishment was when they would take the books for because you could read fluently. You told me how at like 3 or 4 years old you could read just a little child's book, but you could read.
Well, I'm saying when we go to Haiti to do missionary work, understand that my mother and my father, nobody that's there with us speaks French. And I mean, it speaks reads French. So I'm in charge of everything, from the housing to the cars to the gardener. Like I'm saying, so I'm not just reading. I'm reading in multiple languages. Like you probably read 3,000 books a year from the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12. No fiction books at all. I'm only reading nonfiction.
You can drive at 12, you received a full scholarship to the National Science Academy in Dayton, Ohio. But you failed, so you couldn't become an Why did you want to take that opportunity?
I didn't see it as an opportunity. When I got in there, all the students were wearing lab coats, and it seemed very confined and restricted, and nobody seemed like they were having fun. It just seemed like everybody was smart. I didn't want that. That wasn't what I was signing up for at all. And plus, I thought that Jesus was my big homie. So you know how you get a story about a dude joined the gang and you get a big homie? Like at this particular point in my life, my thought is that the Bible is the greatest book that's ever been written. Okay. That it houses the truth, and that it gives you this story of Jesus, and that I'm supposed to be like him. Okay. So it's already in my head that as soon as I get 13, I'm leaving.
So, you just torched Robinson Park Cemetery.
At 13,
Final resting
you
place
don't
of
only
Gotham's
think like, okay,
finest in
Mom, I'm
flames.
moving out. You
I
moved
believe
from
the
Ohio
wings
to
are even in
Florida
there
on your own.
someplace. As good a reason as any
You
to set
weren't
it on
afraid.
fire,
I mean, you
I
like,
suppose.
The dark magic rises within you.
so what were you going to do?
Return to Brother Blood.
Don't say I wasn't afraid. There's no such thing as a human being of not being afraid. There are certain human beings that understand that being afraid in no way stops you from doing what you got to do.
Okay.
So I was afraid, but I couldn't be that afraid because I knew what had happened with Jesus. I knew how it worked out. I knew that I wasn't in the wrong with how I was feeling, and I knew that I didn't have any bad intentions in it.
Right.
So I trusted God that it would work out.
Why Florida?
Because if you're raised in Ohio, the one thing on your list is, I'm going to get away from snow, and I'm going to get as far I want tell me the place. I literally went to a truck stop and I asked all the truck drivers where they was going. And there was one guy going to California and there was one guy going to Florida. And they told me how long it was going to take. And so that's why I ended up in Miami. Because...
How did you get there? You caught a bus? Or?
No, I just told you. I was at the truck stop. I got in. I didn't hitchhike. I got in the back of the dude's 18-wheeler. Me and my puppy and my suitcase.
Your moment is at hand.
I was...
Prepare to unleash the powers of
$2,500
Trigon's
on me,
sins upon the Titans.
like I was shoveling snow and
corruption,
cutting grass. Like I always had pockets full of money.
When did you make the
I
decision
shall summon
that you
a
were going to
portal
leave
to bring you
Ohio?
to me. Do
He
not
told
delay.
somewhere. And it ended up being Florida. So, but when did you know that you were leaving Dayton, Ohio, going to Florida?
And my father and I's last interaction, somebody could have nominated. And we both understood that was all that. If you say that my family is very religious, just say I'm not. So anything that I'm going to do is going to fall out of the guidelines.
Right.
But I'm not going to let you tell me what I'm going to be, even, especially if what you're saying is wrong. I can't condone. And if I find out that something is wrong, and I tell you it's wrong, and you don't back me, that's what it is.
Even as a young child, you were willing to tell your parents that some of the things that you're saying doesn't coincide with what I've been reading in the Bible.
No, very simply, don't try to disfellowship me for sexual acts and I'm a virgin. Sorry, God don't make mistakes. You don't get 2 times to fuck me over. What do you mean you went to God and he told you I was guilty? You just lied on God. So long. That's it. There's no conversation.
You wish you never heard of Trigon.
That's when you made the decision after that conversation right there to say, no, I can't live under this rule.
It wasn't a conversation. It was an altercation. In the altercation, I love my father. My father loved me. But we are 2 men at it.
Give up, blood. When the
It'll
Titans
never be
get
the
free,
same again.
You wish you never
You
heard
can't
of
sleep
Trigon.
comfortably around me. And I can't sleep comfortably around you.
How similar are you to your father?
I don't know. He's a great man. I'm saying, right, but I'm saying that generally happens with a father-son dynamic. It was just that religious relationships are always difficult in families. They always are.
Before it got to the point, because the dynamic, he's father, your son. Before that dynamic, and you step up on his level and you challenge him, you feel it was best.
No. I'm not being challenged. I'm being beat to death. I didn't say that. I said we were in an altercation.
I saw what you did that game. I saw what you did in the altercation. You didn't say you won, you said you did an altercation.
In no way gave you the impression that I won anything. I'm the one leaving. I'm out of bounds. This is his house.
Right.
Yeah. So as long as I'm going to be under his leash, there are certain things that I'm going to have to do. And the only way that's going to change
I will rise.
is either this
Will be doomed.
or that. And I'm saying, I had 2 younger brothers. Like, I'm not an unreasonable person. Like, I don't have any mental issues whatsoever. Despite what they lead people to believe. I make pretty good decisions.
You thought to defy me,
So
Titans?
how was their relationship with your father? Not afraid to leave them?
I defy Trigon's power to defeat my soul. Titans,
Well,
I free you.
asked because it went all the way to the actual department, so it was actually going to be something. And when I asked them if they could just make sure that my brothers didn't get separated and was something have you,
The Titans are free!
they said they couldn't make those type of guarantees, that they weren't really sure what would happen if this went down. And so part of leaving was
I'm filled with terror.
the hope that it
No,
would be
really.
okay for them.
What did you
Because
just do?
none of them experienced what I experienced. I'm saying I'm the oldest. It's a lot riding on me. I'm supposed to at least religiously hold down the family's name.
Correct.
In this household. You know what I mean?
How much older are you than the baby and the knee baby?
Like a lot older. Like if I'm, I think, yeah, they're 5 and
Damn.
in Pampers.
Wow. You go to Florida, you tell the story of you were homeless. And somebody else told the story and said they were homeless, and you said they jacked your story.
13, I shouldn't have to tell you I'm homeless. I'm in Miami, Florida. I have no family members in Florida. I couldn't buy a house if I wanted to. I couldn't get an apartment if I wanted to. I don't have a credit history. Like, this is not a stretch for me to say that I'm homeless. I'm living in a park in Coconut Road. The park still exists to this day. For 8 hours a day, I would get up and go to the library and study for 8 hours a day to increase my education. And then I would leave out of there and go to the marina and steal car radios and make $2,000 almost daily. Like, I had a routine.
So you could have played that Santa Thief and Santa Claus. You could have played it.
No, the Santa Claus wasn't a thief. The Santa Claus, you can't tell me. I read the script. Ricky Smiley told me he didn't read the script. The Santa Claus was a crackhead. He just had that outfit on. That's what I couldn't play. Okay. Like the black guy that got raped in the bathroom.
Right. So at any point in time, you're like, man, I made a mistake, man. I should have stayed my butt in Ohio, man, because this is what I signed up for.
I didn't experience anything once I left home that I hadn't signed up for. If anything, it saved my life. Me being homeless for that small period of time allowed me to see all of the people that were in that situation and to see that these were lawyers and doctors and teachers and that these people were white and black and Asian and Indian, and the only thing that all these homeless people had in common was they made a bad decision and aligned themselves with drugs. And I interviewed them all. What drug? What happened?
This is the most prime merchandise in Gotham, and none of it's hot. I
Nobody
swear.
had a great story of what meth had done for them, what crack had done for them, what cocaine had done for them, what heroin had done for them, what speed had done for them. Nobody had them stories. Everybody's story was,
Want to
I
take
had
your
my
nemesis
life
down a notch?
together.
This is the
And then
gear.
I decided to do this dumb thing. I lost my wife. I lost my house. I lost my cars. I lost my reputation. And now I'm out here sucking
on the
penis.
Gotham University campus where I can keep an eye on the power of Shazam. So
Talk
when
about
Faust and
scared
Black Adam
straight.
arrive,
You
I
ain't
knew
got to
something
worry
was up.
about me.
Circe is rewarding me for
If that
my
ain't weed or nicotine, you won't see me touching it. I don't want no parts. I've seen what these things can do to people. Anything that takes your free will is the devil itself.
Thought about what your life would have been had you stayed in Dayton, Ohio?
Welcome, champion.
No.
To deal some punishment.
To somebody
The
that's in the NBA for 14 years, like,
is
what would happen if you didn't come to the NBA? Oh, I shudder to think.
Godhood.
I thought it was what I was made for. I thought it was what I was built for. Anybody that knows me will tell you that when they first met Cat Williams, when I was Cat in the Hat, and they tell these stories about how he changed his name.
I'm
Look,
supposed to
the truth of the matter is, Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Cat Williams. That's all that happens. I have been that same product the entire time. They would tell you when they first saw me doing stand-up, I was just like this.
rise and protect the
This is
soul
what I wear.
well for Faust.
This is my style.
When did you know you wanted to be? Did you stumble on
because I wanted to know why Monty Python funny. Why is Don not so talented? I wanted to know what is George Carlin's thing like? Where? So I studied all of the comedy masters regardless of the field because I loved to laugh. I didn't know that these people were making a great living at doing this. I thought this is just what they did. They're funny people, but I love the craft. And that's why when I got into the craft, I thought it was my obligation to make sure that I kept writing new material so much that it forced these comedians to stop doing the set they've been doing for 10 years and keep writing some new stuff. And I knew that if I could get that to take on, that most of these bums would have to just quit comedy because they can't keep up. They're not going to keep writing an hour worth of material. I've written an hour worth of material 19 times. They're not going to do it. Why? Because they're not creative writers. They want to get somebody else.
Power must be delivered to conduct.
So, if I listen to this real set, it's the best thing that ever happened with the internet. Because now they have to. Because normally, like you said, you can do a set and set in Kansas City, people ain't heard of San Francisco, people ain't heard of Miami, ain't heard of Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, so forth and so on. Now you do a set, it's on the internet. Somebody heard it. So you can't do a set and make it last 3 months, 4 months.
Rise and protect the soul well for Faust.
It doesn't allow the regular comic the ability to grow. It's the real like, part of comedy is me taking these jokes in January, and by March, I've begun to craft this joke. It's not as simple as it was when I wrote it. It was just da-da-da-da-da. But now it has the complexities of the fact that I'm having to deliver this to an East Coast audience, a down South audience, a Midwest audience, a Utah audience, a Chicago audience. And so it begins to take on a different complexion because you're having to deliver it to different people. Okay. And so this is what sharpens your joke.
Why settle for the base model
Take
when you
those
can have
sharpened
upgrades?
jokes that make it special. Not you just randomly take some. So it's a process. You don't allow them to process it the first time the guy did the joke. Now that's his joke, and the joke is everywhere. That just sets it up for people to steal.
So how many times must you tell a joke before you back to it?
How many times have you had to sleep with a woman before you're done with her? That's not fair. If it's great, never. If it ceases to have usefulness, so it has been spoken.
Jesus.
Right.
I read that.
Wow.
You raised in Florida, you had some
Spike rubber chicken, an empty vial, demon blood? Who would buy
That
this
whole
junk?
story doesn't take place in Florida. That story takes place in Oklahoma City. Okay. So after I'm in Florida, I then joined. I tried to join the Marine Corps, and they won't accept me because I'm too young, and I've lied and told them I'm 16, and my family's moving down, and I don't have my ID, but it's coming. And so they let me go to the boot camp. I don't know. That's not working out. Okay. So I've learned that lesson. So then I get this job selling stuff door to door across the country. And so I've been in all 50 states. Again, I'm 14 years old. So I did that. And while I'm doing that, one of the places I'm at, I'm in Oklahoma. And I decided I'm going to stay here because of these things that you're talking about and the situation. I don't know at the time why that's important in my life or why it's something I should be doing or any of that. But now later on, it certainly helps me in formulating Money Mike for Friday After Next and a pimp named Slickback for the Boondocks.
Oklahoma, San Francisco, Oklahoma, Sacramento. From Florida, you moved to the West Coast. And so you traveling. When did you set up shop on the West Coast?
Rise and protect the soul well for Faust.
18 or younger, and once I have once I have a child, I realized that I can't. It's a lot of things that I could use to make money that now is a no-go. So anything with street aspirations that I might have thought about pursuing or been good at, I now am a single parent and I gotta redo these things. So I need comedy to really work out for me. Me and him go into extreme conversation where I'm explaining to him that
Oh,
I'm
the
gonna
plot
crash out
thickens.
dummy if he don't send me a
Faust
life
plans to bring
I need
Black
something I
Adam's
can hold
wife,
on to.
Isis, back to life.
Before I had left Florida, I did stand at one
kind,
time because we was trying to get in the club and party. So I said I was a comedian. They ended up having me do 5
Black Adam
minutes.
is
But I
far
kept
too
that in
valuable
my
a
head.
weapon to rejoin the forces of light.
When we get to Oklahoma,
Quickly,
they're having
use
a
their portal within
competition
Gotham
for
University and
stand-up.
disrupt their
And
ritual
if you
and conduct.
win, you get to go out on the road with Jeff Foxworthy and Dan Whitney, who was Larry the Cable Guy, and Richard Jenny, and the great comics you get to open for them. And once I did that, I realized, okay, as a comedian, I'm like way behind the schedule. I started this too late. All the funny guys are already funny and known names. Like, how am I going to progress? So I realized that I do better with a white audience than I do with a black audience, and I'm not sure why that's occurring. But the white audience likes me more. That's interesting. So when I moved to Sacramento, it's because Sacramento has a white and a black audience, almost 50-50. That's the makeup of Sacramento. So I lived in Sacramento for 2 years until I get to the point where I am equally as funny if the room is black as I am if the room is white. That's not enough. Now I need to be one of the good ones when it comes to black comics. So now I have to move to Oakland, and that's what lands me in Oakland for 3 years. Once I have dominated male black comedy in Oakland to my liking, now I'm prepared to go to Los Angeles now. Now I know you can't throw me any curveballs. If it's a white audience, if it's a black audience, no matter what they are, I'm prepared to deal with all of the audiences.
According to the audience that you're going to be in front of,
We merely need
The University of Gotham,
Well,
a place of learning
in the
big
beginning,
city. We're now
part
offering
of
a
my
post-grad
framework is
certificate
that
in
I'm
artificial
tailoring
intelligence
every
technology,
show to
taught
this
by Dr.
audience.
Will Magnus.
And
Register
that's
now.
how I was able to show my range and show that I was better than my competitors. Is that I'm Williams, but I was still doing clean comedy. So I was still going to churches and doing 45 minutes of stand-up at the church with no curse words, no sex, drug material, no none of that, just straight stand-up. And then I was doing everything else. And that was the range. Is that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So that's how I started. But as you begin to get better, you begin to be able to speak to your entire fan base. And that's really what's been helpful, is that I've been having the same conversation with my fan base for 12 comedy specials.
Is that what set Cat Williams apart? Is your range? In that you can do a comedy, do 45 minutes in the church. I can go to a comedy club in front of 250, or I can go into an arena with 15,000. I'm like range because everybody can't do that, Cat.
Well, if that's what range is called, then yeah, it's range. But
This is Jack Ryder,
like
and
the
you
people I'm talking to.
wrong.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it can't be condescending because I'm talking to my white male friend.
More than just your souls, friends. He's after the flame of
this
life
joke about this
itself,
black lady.
the mystical power to control
So
life and death, to flood the world with zombies at his command. You think no one can
All right, folks, we're gonna call it for now. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out.